And don't forget that of course, it's almost that time of the year. We're talking about spring a bit earlier and going through a couple of the Melbourne Cup chances for Michael Moroney, but it's also Geelong Cup time, which is a traditional lead up to the Melbourne Cup, and often the imports race in it. And it's Sportingbet Geelong Cup Day on the 22nd of October. And the club has already put together the race day packages, and they're available by contacting the club or visiting their website. So think ahead and get in early for Sportingbet Geelong Cup Day. All right, let's take a look at this sixth race. We're about 8 minutes away from the Jim's Mowing Showcase. You just saw Chris Caserta getting ready for his Mount Godfrey there in the blue and yellow colours. Godfrey's one of the outsiders. Here in this race, Spa Real has been backed from 420 into 320. We'll get to it in a moment. Fast Focus has only won the two races, but does look to have some decent ability. Yet to be in the money from two starts here at this track, but there have been excuses both times here, so I wouldn't really look at that little anomaly. Loves this distance, the short course, that's his go, and second up and fitter for the recent Mornington return. Let's go to 3 Time Forward, came back from a break, and it was a decent-looking win here at Geelong after taking a sit, got the run through, and it was a bit of a brief duel to the line, but Time Forward was pretty tough at the end of that race. Might be a bit harder from a wide gate today to get the same run. It had the inside alley and just had all the favours last time, so that's a little bit of a question. Well, Spa Real comes to the races for the first time as a gelding. He was gelded after his failure as favourite at Mornington. He dropped right out. Something obviously wasn't quite right with him. And they thought, well, maybe to get him back on track, they'll give him the gelding operation. Mark Zara looking for a double. Robert Smurden prepares this galloper. He does show decent talent, and I reckon he might be back on track today. We'll see what he can do. Well, Glamour Planet is the next horse we're looking at. He loves racing here. 4 starts, 3 wins and a second. So he's never been out of the first 2 at this venue. Jessica Payne rides. She's in good form after scoring that memorable win at Mornington last Wednesday. This galloper is first up this afternoon. Normally goes well fresh without having a first up win previously. There's a bit of pace in this race, and with blinkers off, I wouldn't be surprised if it sits back in the field. We'll soon see what Glamour Planet can do, $13. Eternal Circle's one of the on-paces, and there's a few noted on-paces in this race, coming out of a Sandown run back on the 11th of May. Did work in the mid-stages. This track it's shown a liking for, despite not winning here, but has placed both times, and she has shown above-average ability. So I think she definitely will find some city races that are suitable, but this looks a very ideal race for her as she steps it out with Craig Newitt in the saddle. She is one of the favourites. She is $5. Merry Magic has won 2 of its last 3. I think this is a considerable step up for her. I know on rating it's just the next band, the 64, but there's a few handy horses in this 64 today. I don't know whether there were too many in that 58 the other day that she won at Mornington, but she seems to like soft tracks. I don't know really what to expect from her this afternoon, though she has placed here. She's not in my top 4, 26. Rhonda in Paris. We heard from Ray Basenko that she's a real trier. She, like Merry Magic, is a winner twice out of her last 3 starts. Looks like she's found some form. She'll put herself into the action. Jake Bayliss in the saddle again after he rode her to victory here last time. It was just a narrow win, and she was suited by the way that track was playing that day. Track's quite even today, so it will all depend on the race pattern and the kind of run that she gets. Ski Esprit has got handy ability, though he doesn't show it every day. He's very hit and miss. I know he's had his few issues over the years. $26, but at his best, that is over the odds for him. But just whether he can find his best. Beluga Miss came to a 58 race to break her maiden. She did it in pretty soft style here the other day, winning by 2.5 lengths. Could have won by more. There she's about to head out. Ben Mellon rode her that occasion. So she's up in grade and slightly down in weight, just a half kilo, so effectively the same weight as filly by Belle Esprit. I think is now that she's returned with that win, she can continue to improve through the grades. I did think there were a couple in this event that had proven themselves at this grade or higher, and you're taking her on spec that she'll continue to improve. And so that's the reason why I didn't have her as high as the market rates her, but I'd still admit she's a leading chance. And Spiriticity was very restless in the mounting out. It was rearing up and getting right down on its back legs. But here it is heading out with Dean Yendall in the saddle. The Leonard stable now has Spiriticity, and this mare is up for start 26 today, a two-time winner, and her record here isn't that great. She has placed once from 5 tries. And we missed Godfrey. There's Godfrey. We had a look at Chris Caserta, who's in a good vein of form at the moment. He's really racked up the wins in recent weeks. It was only a couple of weeks ago he outrode his 4-kilo claim, and he's posted a couple since. This is first up, Godfrey. He's got a form profile that looks like he will be suited to much further than this, with his form all around the 2,000 metre distances of last campaign. He has won as short as 14. It's actually interesting to see him come to a 1,000 metre race first up rather than maybe a 12 or a 1,300, but maybe they're using this as a bit of a warm-up for him. I'm not sure, but I can't have him on the basis of what he's done over short courses in the past. He's 60 to 1. I was leading with Spa Real, a gelding. The gate's a trick, but there looks to be a lot of pace in this race, even for 1,000 metres. I know they'll run along regardless, but there looks to be a few that will be especially hunting for a non-pace role, and I thought that might suit Spa Real. Eternal Circle, Fast Focus, Glamour Planet, 4, 6, 1 and 5 for the 6th race up shortly. He's representing the Robbie Griffiths yard as he always does, and this mare Turtle Circle looks to have a great chance on a track that she's performed well at in the past. Reid, thanks for joining us. Talk us through the Sandown run the other day.
Yeah, 1,200 metres. She just over-raced a bit throughout the race and hit the front far too early in the straight, and she was out of petrol at the finish, so we've brought her back to 1,000 metres, and hopefully they'll run along and she'll get a nice card into it and just a pounce late, hopefully. That's the plan anyway.
So you're hoping to take a sit, that's the plan?
Yeah.
Okay, and later today you've got Innovate going around in race number 8 over 1,300.
Yeah, he's had a very interrupted preparation with race meetings called off and being emergency and wet tracks and everything, so we're just trying to get him back on track today, so hopefully he can have a nice run through and run well.
And later in the day, we've got a Spree Warrior, another strong chance. This is in the 9th race, coming off a placing here last time when it went down very narrowly.
Yeah, he's been very consistent. Was a bit unlucky last start not to get the bob. I'm sure he'll run well again from the gate, and yeah, he looks a good chance in that race.
Reid, you've got a strong hand today. Best of luck.
Thanks very much, Adam.
Reid Belfer from the Robbie Griffiths yard walking through his remaining 3 runners for the day. We're almost right on start time here, and it's Spa Real who was supported from 420 to 310. That's just levelled off a little bit now to 380 as the money comes for the 10 Beluga Miss to maybe dominate from the front. 350 into 320. The one that's been the easiest of the 3 is that horse we're just talking about, Eternal Circle, the 6. Has gone out to each way figures now from an opening mark of $3.80. Rhonda and Paris, 26 into 19, some specking there. And the toppy, Fast Focus, I thought $17 each way was a reasonable price, into 14. Let's join Terry. Here is the first leg of the quaddie.
So that's the lineup. And as I mentioned when I was doing my preview, I think Fast Focus, they bet $17. I think he's got a definite chance in the race. And the way this race will pan for him, it might be good because there's a lot of speed and he carries the white jacket. Eternal Circle moving in, has only won the 1 race, but is very, very consistent. A lot of pace in this race. Now Rhonda in Paris moves forward. Spiriticity moves up and Ski Esprit to get set. The white jacket of Fast Focus, rider of Beluga Miss, is out of the saddle, Benny Mellum. She was very well backed to win first up the other day. She got less pressure than she's going to get here, you would have to think. And Spa Real, he's got the ability, but he's been a bit of a naughty boy. He was terrible first up, but he had the gelding operation, hence the big reason, and I liked his jump out the other day. He's drawn wide out, Spa Real. He's outside Beluga Miss. She's moved in. Zara brings him up. Glamour Planet to come forward. And Time Forward, who won its maiden here the other day, number 3 and on the tote at $14. $3.30 Beluga Miss, $3.80 About Spa Reel, and $5.20 Eternal Circle, the big 3 in the betting. Quaddie first leg, the Jim's Mowing Showcase. Here's Time Forward coming up to the gate. Godfrey stood well. Certainly will improve with the run. He had a bit of a tummy as the stayer went out to the barrier. He's 61 into 51 on track. And they're set to fly. All in. Glamour Planet back against the gate. They settle. Movement towards the inside. Godfrey moving around. Eternal Circle straightened up. Set. They're racing. Ski Esprit was a shade slow to go. Spa Reel's going to go back. Merry Magic won the start. Beluga Miss taking it on. Eternal Circle third. And in handy fourth is Spiriticity. Rhonda and Paris only fairly out. Happy to take a drop 3 wide. Further back, Glamour Planet on the fence off a moderate clip in the early stages. Then Fast Focus, Glamour Planet wide. Spa Reel third last with the mouth open. 6 off the speed. On the inside, Ski Esprit, Godfrey 2 away last. Merry Magic from Beluga Miss coming to the bend. At the 500, half length between them. Rhonda and Paris 3 out. Eternal Circle on the fence awaits a run from Spiriticity. They were being followed next of all as they corner is Time Forward, Fast Focus. Spa Reel back second last, clicked up. In the running, Beluga Miss taken on by Rhonda and Paris at the 250. They're 2 lengths in front. Battling away on the outside, Time Forward, but Beluga Miss shot clear. She's 2-3 in front. Eternal Circle getting through from Time Forward. Spa Reel wide out late, but Beluga Miss untouched. Blitzed them. Went home and won it by 3.5. Eternal Circle and Spa Reel. Time Forward fourth. Close up, Merry Magic in a real bunch. Ski Esprit, Fast Focus, Spiriticity, Rhonda in Paris, Glamour Planet, and the last one is Godfrey, and Beluga Miss has given them a caning.
That's now 2 wins in a row this campaign on this surface, and she seemed to have no problems coming across from that wide gate. On paper, there looked to be a little bit of pace, but as it happened, it was Merry Magic jumping and her coming across and racing outside, and they backed off the speed in the middle stages, and it really made it tough for those back markers to get into the race. Spa Reel was good late, considering. Eternal Circle, once it got clear, it also chased well, but no match for Beluga Miss. The way Ben was swinging off her coming into the straight, you knew she'd just have that burst, which she showed last time, and it was a pretty soft win in very similar fashion as well. She won by about 2.5 lengths last time, and it's a similar margin today. Here's the head-on stages. Merry Magic soon beaten off. Rhonda and Paris made a run 3 wide to get into the action off what looked to be a moderate tempo for 1,000 metres. And then right down the outside, Spa Reel, who was just a little bit keen off that slower than a normal tempo. Once it got going, it run on, and a more than satisfactory performance for him, I'm sure. But I'm sure we'll learn a bit more once we get the other sectionals on the race. But Beluga Miss was in the right place, and that's back-to-back wins. Ben Mellum, $2.90 and $1.50. Eternal Circle, $1.80, and Spa Reel at $2.10. All right, so she's doing a good job this campaign. Often the 58 races are a good recipe to win a maiden. If you're just struggling to find the right maiden to win, and she did that easily last time, and there was a lot of money for her, especially very late on the exchange, and even here on track she firmed right into $3 at the death. And when she just landed in that good position from that awkward gate, and then when they were able to back off the pace and there weren't really any challenges after the first furlong and they'd found their order, you knew, well, she was going to be in a really good place to make it back-to-back wins, and she's done just that. All right, Terry, I thought they were going to go a little bit faster in that race, but she found a good position and the rest is history.
Absolutely, Adam. They've run 59.7. I had my map totally wrong because I thought they'd go a lot faster. There'd be a lot more pressure for her, but horses that do speed forward didn't necessarily do that today. And, well, it was gifted to her, really. It was just gifted to her, and she shot away, and she's won brilliantly. She just dropped the gears down by the 200 and left them floundering. Eternal Circle does everything right except win. She's run very boldly. And Spa Reel's run was really good. He's just going to win a race shortly, no doubt. He's hit the line full of running there. He had absolutely no chance from where he was. So sectionally, I'd like to see the last 400-metre split there, but I'd say his was very good. They backed her very heavily the other day when she was able to win here at Geelong, when she went into a 0 to 58, and she again did the same thing on speed and quickly kicked when it was needed. She's not overly big, but she's a very racy little miss here by Bel Esprit and Ben Mellum, a winning double, Matt Laurie. They've been a good combination for quite some time, Ben and Matt. And it'll be interesting to see where they go with Beluga Miss now. You'd imagine that they want to step it up a little bit because she certainly does have a turn of foot. As I mentioned, the time money fair at 59.70, that's because they didn't go fast in front. Of the others, Time Forward backed up that maiden win the other day. It went quite well. Fast Focus didn't have a great deal of galloping room, but outside of the winner, Spa Real was clearly the best run outside of the winner of the race. Here she is returning. She's a little racy thing, isn't she, Adam?
Yeah, a little pocket rocket, and she comes back to scale. Her second win in a row. I guess when you look at the race again, and we spoke to a couple of trainers earlier, and we found from Ray Basenko that Rhonda and Paris will be taking a sit today. And we just heard from Reed prior to the race that Eternal Circle will be taking a sit, and there were a couple of horses that could have joined the early pace for and rush for the lead. And so when we knew they were going to take sits, and Blinkers were coming off Glamour Planet first up today, I guess the pace sort of whittled out, and as it panned out, it was in the favour of Beluga Miss. So Ben about to give us a debrief here as he returns. Well, Ben, she's doing well.
Yeah, she is. She sort of looked all right speed on paper, and then a couple of speed runners looked to want to take a sit. So I was happy to ride a bit quieter today if I had to, but was able to sort of cross outside the leader, and the leader went a pretty slow tempo and was able to run home a pretty sharp couple of furlongs.
Yeah, once you found that place outside the leader, no pace in the midsection, you must have been giggling to yourself.
Yeah, I was. Like I said, she had a pretty easy the first half and really ripped home the last couple.
They're just taking step by step this campaign with her, but how far do you think she can improve this campaign?
Oh, look, I think he's placed her well today. It was a pretty ordinary race the other day, and stepped up a bit in class today and took care of him pretty comfortably. So there's more improvement in it for sure.
Ben, well done.
Thank you.
Ben Mellon joining us here after the win of Beluga Miss. And good credit going to Matt Laurie as well, the trader of this filly by Bellisbury. A fourth start, second win, both wins this campaign here over the 1,000 metres. All right, you need a number 10 to be alive in the quaddie. Let's continue with race 7 at 2:55. Back shortly with the next at Gosford.